you can tell me if you agree, but when you come on a gig and you meet somebody for the first time, you're, hey, how you doing? Especially if I meet a bass player. How you doing? Good to see you. Great. I'm Dave Tull. We're going to play a gig tonight. We sit down. 4 bars into the first tune, I know whether I'm going to call this bass player again or not. Yeah. I mean, it takes literally 4 bars. And it's not about their solo chops. It's not about reading. All that stuff is important. I don't want you to get the idea that I mean that that's kind of unimportant stuff. But what I mean is, at the end of 4 bars, I'm either thinking, wow, this is going to be really fun, like what we just had, or I'm thinking, wow, is this going to be a long night? And I know you've had that experience too. And it's just, hours. Yeah. So it just really speaks to how unbelievably important it is, regardless of your instrument. And I count, like I said, I count the voice as an instrument. That your sense of time just is delightful and wonderful sounding and convincing and powerful from bar 1 of the very first bar when you sit down. I've had band leaders ask me for all of the things that I just listed, but I've never had a band leader say, hey, can you make the groove a little more vague? You know, can you sort of mumble a little bit more? I just need it, it's coming through too strong. I need it to sound sort of unsure. Can you do that? They don't ever ask for that. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make, and I think I've rambled about it enough, is that the missing ingredient from so many less experienced players, and one of the big differences between the players that I want to work with and the ones who are still on their way, is time feel. What I have discovered, or at least what it seems to me to be the case, is that listening is another one of those things that people sort of don't really think about. Again, sort of treated like, well, you know, as you get better, you just start listening or something, I don't know. There's nothing worse than hearing that inexplicable moment you hear once in a while where somebody's just, they have blinders on, they're just into their own thing, they're soloing away, and they get off by a couple of beats. Or a bar, or they go to the bridge too early on a tune or something. That isn't such a huge crime. We're all human beings. But going for more than a bar without realizing it, that is a crime. And you know, I'm sure we've all been in that situation where you're going along and the horn player or whatever is just, you can hear them blowing over the A section changes and the rhythm section is playing the bridge and you're going, how can you not hear that? So it really makes me realize that you have to decide you're going to listen. It's like you have to actively move your attention out from yourself. You have to teach yourself how to listen, just like you've taught yourself to do everything else at your instrument. It doesn't necessarily just come automatically. My attention to the bass player is about time, and it's about the form of the tune. I'm always listening to see, we're at the bridge? Okay, yes, we are at the bridge together. Yes, now we're into that. Here's that diminished chord. Yes, there it is. You know, I'm listening for all the root movement. And I also have my ears to the bass player for all sorts of textural things that he's going to do. For example, bass players will sometimes just go to a pedal tone, especially in a solo. He's walking along, and they'll hold on to that pedal note for a while, you know. And as soon as I hear that, first of all, it changes up the way I'm going to play, because I always feel that like somebody's damming the river for a minute, you know, and the pressure's kind of building up, and then there's going to be a release. And I'm hearing the note he's playing, and I'm hearing the next change that's about to happen. I'm thinking, no, that note will still work. Okay, that one, no, he's going to have to. Whoa, he held on to it, you know. But I'm listening, and I'm watching to hear when the bass player's going to start back out walking, and I'll roll with him on that. And there's this united sound that we get, as opposed to if Tom was to start walking a pedal like that, and I was just to keep playing time and not even acknowledge it at all. It's not like I have to acknowledge it, but I can't think of a time when I wouldn't do something to just reflect the fact that he's gone there. We're going to work together on this. If the pianist lays out for a few bars, part of what I'm doing is I'm kind of sort of trying to guess when he's going to come back and how he's going to come back. Is he going to come back with a kind of soloistic line behind the soloist, or is he going to come back with a, you know, or is he going to come back at the top of the next section, or is he going to sneak in? All this guessing is going on. It's like a game to try to figure out what everybody's going to do, and you never get hurt. If I'm playing behind the pianist and I kind of guess that he's going to go someplace, so I sort of do a fill and I land there, and it turns out that's not where he goes, that's all right. If I'm doing a good job, and I sometimes get distracted, you know, we've all had that time when you're sitting on the stand and you're thinking, man, that phone bill is due tomorrow, and the dog, I forgot to take the dog out, you know. So we all have our minds wander occasionally, especially during bass solos. That's the time to make a call or text somebody, you know, whatever. Yeah. Open a really crinkly, you know, or talk to somebody. I make it my goal to stay in the moment as directly and constantly as I can, and I'm very much aware of the fact that that level of attention, that frequency of attention and that level of attention is not something that is just automatic. It has to be practiced. You have to get used to putting your ears out that way. Came away with the idea that one of the things you need to get is versatility. You got to be able to say yes when the phone rings and then ask what it is. You know, I have a gig for you on Saturday. Great. What is it? and just know that you're good. You know, it's not going to be okay. Well, we're going to be sight reading tunes in 7 with a rhythm section that has 3 cellos and a dog and a cat. Great. I'm there. I've already done that before. Yeah, it's so much fun. So much fun.
I got so much money, more than you will ever see, but that don't mean I ain't got troubles always following me. You know it's hard to get by when you've got so much to lose. I ain't crying every day, but every other day I have the blues. One day I heard Joe Williams singing.